Good evening, everyone. I am Angela Gegg, and you're watching Angie live in Dubai. And as I'm joined in the studios with Anas Burton. Anas is the co-founder and CEO of the Arts DAO, and he's the co-host of the Crypto Shakes podcast. Anas manages a 300-plus exclusive NFT community in Dubai, who he brings together every month at premium locations in Dubai to discuss NFTs and the wider growth of Web3. When I get back from the commercial break, guys, I'll be joined with Anas, so stay tuned. I'm joined in the studios with Anas, as promised. Anas, thanks so much for joining me here on Angie Live in Dubai.
It's a massive pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Most welcome. It's great to have you in the studios.
Oh man, this is a beautiful place. Love it. And yeah, can't wait to get in depth with you talking about Web3, NFTs, all the things that we've been talking about in our own life.
I love it. I love it. But before we do that, I'd like the audience watching to get to know a little bit about the man on the chair. Before we talk about NFTs, crypto community, blockchain, all of this good stuff, let's talk about Anas. Tell us a little bit about you, the early years, and pretty much what took you to this path.
All right, so a little bit about me. I'm originally from Mauritius, but I was born and raised in Taiwan.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, my dad had a business out there, and I sort of lived there for 18 years. I then moved to London, where I sort of studied, did my sort of university stuff. I actually am a lawyer.
Oh, wow.
So I studied law. I practiced law after my uni. I practiced law in London and then here in the UAE. Before I got into the crypto space, I was doing normal sort of everyday mergers and acquisitions, kind of corporate law. Then I got into crypto law, fintech with checkout.com. And that's what really pushed me deeper into the Web3 space.
As far as I know, you're one of the only crypto lawyers here in the UAE.
Only a
Few,
couple.
but you're one of, I think you were the first.
I wouldn't say I was the first, but we're probably one of five that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So modest. He's so humble, guys. My intel says he's one of the first, okay? But no, okay, well, that's pretty amazing. So you have the expertise behind you, and then you went on to come up with this NFT community. So it's not just about crypto, it's about NFTs.
100%.
So people watching out there, I'm sure one of the questions, it's NFT spaces. Yes, it's getting big now. People are talking about it, but what is it?
Maybe I should start by talking about where this all sits in the history of the internet.
That'd be wonderful.
Because it's really critical to understand that. So we talk about Web3, right? So obviously there's Web 1 and Web 2. So what does that really mean, right? Web 1 was, in some ways, you could see it as being static. Yahoo, right? When you went on Yahoo, you
got mail.
Exactly, yeah. They produced the information for you, and you couldn't really do anything except read their information. That's Web 1. Now, Web 2 innovated on this by allowing people to also write and create information, create content. So we saw the rise of, Facebook. We saw the rise of the likes of Instagram.
High five.
What do people do on these platforms?
Old schoolers.
Yeah, what do these people do on these platforms? They post about their lives. You've got the emergence of photography. We saw also, Reddit, where you have communities. But there was some sort of problem with this in one sense, right? When you're on Web 2, on these communities, you don't really own anything. You have to contribute your data, your information, but you don't really get necessarily anything personal. So for example, you don't own Instagram. You don't own Facebook by being one of their customers, so to speak, right? You're not a shareholder like that. And when you post content, what do you get? Likes. That's not really anything that of value, right? Now Web3 seeks to change that, because what happens now is you can sort of own the underlying network, right? Instead of your content just generating likes, imagine if your content could generate money, Ethereum. So that's what this is all about, because what's happening here is we're seeing the tokenization of communities, where you can own the underlying assets, you can create art, sell it, there's a marketplace built around that. So if I like to think about it, one great way to think about this is like a balance sheet. In Web 2, what you were doing was sort of there were liabilities. You bought something or you involved in something, you just sort of invested your time, but you didn't get anything in return necessarily. But in Web3, they have turned these things into assets. Because when you buy or create something in Web3, you can resell it on a marketplace.
In Web3, you mean like with MetaMask, NFTs, this sort of thing?
NFTs. So maybe we should define that term for the audience, right? So NFTs stand for non-fungible token.
Right.
But we got to start with fungible. What does that mean, right? So imagine right now I got two $20 bills in my hand, right? This $20 bill, that $20 bill. It's exchangeable, right? If I take this $20 bill to the bakery, they will accept it because you know it represents value to them, right? And they can buy stuff with it. Now, what's non-fungible? Effectively, that means something that's unique, so it can't necessarily be exchangeable in the same way. So a great example of that is paintings, Picassos, right? A Picasso painting. Can I take a Picasso, go to a bakery, and swap it for a bunch of bread? No, it doesn't make sense, right? And the reason why is there isn't hundreds of Picassos out there that are exchangeable in the same way. So non-fungible tokens seeks to create an asset out of things that are unique. So that's distinguished from fungible tokens like the US dollar, Bitcoin, Ethereum, these classic cryptocurrencies. Those are all fungible. But non-fungible tokens represents things like land in the metaverse or art, things like that. Key distinction.
I got it. Okay. All right. Well, that's very interesting. I like that. People tend to say that NFTs are a rich man's game. What's your take on that? That's all the buzz right now. NFTs are for the rich. Only rich people can have NFTs, and only they know how to trade NFTs. What do you think about that?
It's a very, very valid and important question. And what I'll say about that is the problem that I'm seeing is NFTs are a bit of a rich man's game right now because the people who are playing in there, you tend to need to have a certain amount of capital to get started, right? And those people with a lot of money are able to really get in quite significantly and influence. So if you think about someone who hasn't got, like what do you need to get started in the NFT space? You sort of need, obviously, an internet connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need a phone or a laptop, right? And you need to have the ability to buy crypto.
Right.
Because NFTs don't exist in this old world of fiat, traditional money, banking. It's a completely different world, right? Where the way it's run is completely on crypto, specifically Ethereum. So the people who are playing on the space right now, yes, it's very much a rich man's game. Like if I was not wealthy enough, or if I was a villager somewhere, it's pretty hard. It might be quite hard for me to get Ethereum and then get started in the space.
Not even just the accessibility, but the knowledge.
Yes.
To download MetaMask, to create the account, or any of the applications where you can buy. I mean, it's not like cut and dry. It actually requires some work and some skill.
The other problem, which I have to highlight, is something called gas fees.
Yes.
Gas fees are effectively a transaction cost for using Ethereum. And this is a problem with Ethereum itself. You know, think about it this way. I think I'm just going to very briefly talk about what a blockchain is, because Ethereum is built on a concept called blockchains. Blockchains are just a database. And everybody who plays on a blockchain, who's a participant in a blockchain, has a copy of it. And the best way to think about it is imagine a book. Every time someone does a transaction, they buy this, they sell that, whatever, a line is written in this book, right? And eventually the page gets full. And we have to sort of turn the page to get to a new blank slate to write new transactions. Now, there is a cost of turning the page. Because who manages this? Miners. So Ethereum is managed by a process called miners.
Let's explain mining to people, because in old school mining, you're thinking of people going into mine gold to mine precious stones. What exactly is mining in the crypto space?
So mining is effectively, I know this sounds a bit crazy, but bear with me.
My viewers definitely needs a little bit of.
So there's the process of mining is called a proof of work, and what that means is you've got to when you turn this page, because crypto comes from the word cryptography, right? And cryptocurrency it's a cryptographic type of currency. The key part about this is that to ensure that this is sufficiently safe, right? Because we're dealing with financial transactions. Effectively, to turn this page, miners are solving an incredibly hard mathematical problem. That's the only way I can say it simply. To effectively find a kind of answer that allows them to turn the page. Now, when they do that, they earn crypto. They earn Ethereum or Bitcoin, depending on what kind of mining protocol they're using.
And for the viewers watching, miners use systems. They don't do it in their head.
No.
Right? So we need to explain to them that when you are solving the problem, it's online.
It's online, so they have loads of computers
for people
doing
who don't
this.
know and understand.
And they're constantly solving these mathematical problems.
Correct.
So going back to what I just said, to turn this page, the miner basically, think about it this way now. Imagine we have two different types of books. We have a big book and a small book, right? In a small book, after a couple of lines, we got to turn the page real fast. A bigger book allows for more writing to go on it, right?
Right.
Ethereum, because it was launched in 2014, is a bit of a smaller book. It's a bit of a dinosaur, and it needs to be it needs to evolve, right? There are a lot of other cryptos that have evolved past this proof of work kind of concept. But the reason why gas fees are high is because imagine the book's this small, but the amount of transactions are this high. The miner gets to decide which transaction goes in. And if there's too much demand and very limited supply, the miner can charge a lot of money.
That's why it also changes depending the time and everything. Gas fees are just
correct.
Up and down.
So if you're in the U.S. where a lot of things are happening the same in crypto, U.S. hours generally when the U.S. isn't asleep is sort of the time when the gas fees are really high because people are trading or buying and doing all kinds of things right now. And going back to your initial question about accessibility, sometimes the gas fees can be $100 just to buy this or move
or to
this.
list even on the platforms.
and it's because of this problem.
A quick question to people watching. If this is such an issue with gas fees and Ethereum, why are we using Ethereum for NFTs? Why haven't we moved on to another crypto?
Great question. Now, there are a lot of other types of cryptos that allow NFTs to be facilitated, right? Effectively, what you might need, it's not required, but a lot of NFTs work on something called a smart contract. And this is actually how I got into crypto, because I'm a lawyer, I was very interested in contracts, and the smart contract to me represented an innovation in contracts. And effectively, just a quick description of what that is. Imagine that you have a box, and this is the contract, okay? And we have two parties, you and me. And I want to buy property, something you're very familiar with. You put the title deeds of that property effectively in this contract, and you specify if you put $400,000 into this contract, it'll automatically sort of execute with this contract. I mean, the title deeds moving to me and the money going to you. So all I got to do is move that $400,000 into that contract. Boom, the code executes. You get the $400,000. I get the property deed.
Right.
So in a way, you skip the lawyers here, right? In the past, you had to draft this, go through the land registry and all this stuff. Smart contracts allow that to happen instantly in that way. So NFTs are being built on this kind of platform. Now, going back to your question, why are we using Ethereum? So there are other platforms, other cryptos that allow NFTs to be built on because they also have smart contracts. So you got, for example, Tezos, you got Solana. These are some of the bigger competitors, right? What I think seems to be the problem is people are quite loyal to Ethereum. Ethereum is a big part of being part of this culture is the concept of decentralization, which means that the currencies or the people who are involved in the space are sufficiently spread out around the whole world. This is the whole philosophy of crypto. the difference between crypto and banking is that banking is centralized, right? If the bank goes down, you lose all your money in the bank. But if one miner goes down on Ethereum, Ethereum is sufficiently decentralized that one person going down doesn't hurt the rest of the network.
I got
That's
you.
the key concept there, right? And that's what represents the kind of, that was the whole concept as to why crypto was created in the first place. Now, Ethereum is very decentralized. Solana has there's a view that because it's backed by VCs, it's quite centralized. So people have a view that it's quite, people don't want to get too involved with Solana.
Right.
That's the first problem. The second problem is Solana has actually collapsed a couple times, maybe because of its centralization. So people don't trust these other blockchains. They're willing to stay on Ethereum. Now the third reason was actually quite interesting is actually the gas prices of Ethereum, the high gas prices, actually causes it to have more legitimacy because scammers who want to list a random NFT project are less likely to spend a lot of money in building a project on Ethereum if it's going to be a scam. If on Solana or Tezos or these other blockchains, it's really cheap, it's super easy just to launch your platform and boom, right? But if it's expensive, and you're a scammer, you're a bad actor, you've got bad intentions, you're not going to waste money spending lots of gas to launch a random project.
And actually, to add to this, I was whitelisted for a project which was using Polygon, and I couldn't be bothered because I wasn't interested to even bother with Polygon. Like, give me projects, it's the same. So you're loyal to what you know, what you respect, what you're into. So
great point.
Absolutely.
So Polygon is actually what's called a layer 2 built on Ethereum, and it allows you to do transactions for low gas. But what's happened in the past year is that loads of scam projects have emerged on Polygon because it's so cheap to create a project just like this, right? And so the reputation of that has caused it to be problematic for many people.
Right, yeah. I love it. Well, guys, on that note, it is time for me to take a short commercial break, and when I'll be back in the studios with Anas Burton. So stay tuned. Back with more Angie Live in Dubai in just a few. And we are back, and I'm ready for some more NFT, more crypto talk. Anas is in the house with me. The expert is in the studios today. Anas, thanks.
Thank you so much for being here. I mean, it's really a pleasure. We're having a great discussion.
Absolutely.
We actually have these kind of discussions outside of the studio anyway.
Yes, with your podcast. So yeah. Well, why don't we give our audience a little bit about that? Tell them about your actual podcast. You host the Crypto Shakes podcast as well, where you're also being informative, letting people know about this new Web3 world and beyond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I can tell you a story about how we started this, right? So
Love it.
I run the podcast with my co-founder, Danosh. We both actually founded this. It was actually his idea. He said, hey, let's start a podcast. So I met him a year ago. We were actually, we met over tequila. We were having a tequila tasting session.
My dog is
I know
named
your
Tequila.
dog's tequila. I know. So there was this really cool tequila tasting session here in Dubai, and we were there. I met him there. So he was wearing this. I don't know if Danosh a while back had this really long hair, and so he looked like this. He looked like Jesus.
Like Jesus.
And he had this sort of white suit on. I was like, wow, who is this guy? And we just really clicked. After a while, we met again, and he was like, what do you know about crypto? And that was really where it all went from there.
Yeah.
We sat down one day, and he was like, Anas, we were having discussions about crypto, and he's like, you know what? We should start a podcast.
Yeah.
Now, why did he say that? I think back about this a lot. A lot of people find this space complex. And we thought, there are two types of people. Some people see a complex space and they want to just keep the information for themselves so they can, just do it that way, right? But we were of the view that the space expands best when you educate more people to come in. And when you're educating, you're sort of giving value for free, not necessarily expecting anything in return, but just knowing that if other people pick it up, they're better able to also want to be part of what you're building, right? So we started the Crypto Shakes podcast with that view, that the best way to help people understand the space was just to give it out for free.
And that view is why I asked you on the show. because you are all about people having financial freedom,
Yes.
helping, educating, and that's really important to me on my show for my viewers as well. So having this attitude and this view is one of the reasons I wanted you here. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah. So simplifying crypto for everyday people is sort of our motto.
But tell me the shake part.
So shakes. So, we live in Dubai, and this is very much Danosh's choice.
Okay.
Look, I don't consider myself to be a crypto sheikh. When I look at the Crypto Sheikhs podcast, sheikh actually means leader, right? And so we are saying this is the Crypto Leaders, Crypto Sheikhs podcast. And the reason why we're saying that is also because we are inviting a lot of the leaders in the space to sit down with us and talk to them.
Yeah, you recently met with Gary Vee. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Big things.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we recently hosted Gary Vee here for a broad discussion on the metaverse, Web3, NFTs, crypto. It was a very, very valuable discussion because we talked about where he sees the space going in the next 5 to 10 years, what he's maybe buying, concepts like metaverse land, a lot of very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Gary Vee is a big inspiration for me because I believe he also does his best to give value out for free.
Yeah.
Just for the purpose of educating so that people
just
can
for my
learn.
viewers watching who don't know who Gary Vee is, who is he?
Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, I'm sure they know who he is.
Not everybody.
Gary Vaynerchuk, he is the founder of VaynerMedia.
Okay.
He's a huge thought leader, influencer, who talks a lot about social media.
Yep.
How you can build a brand.
Kind of like a Tony Robbins,
Yeah, I get.
but in the crypto space.
I mean, he's not just about
No?
crypto. He's quite broad. I mean,
Okay.
before he was into crypto, I think he was very much about social generally.
Okay,
So
okay.
what I liked about him before crypto, even I used to follow him back in the day. He basically built the playbook on how to build yourself up
Okay.
as a brand.
So
a
basically,
personal
he's one
brand.
of your mentors in like.
More for Danosh than me.
okay.
But I definitely respect him big time.
Okay.
His methods, I believe, are very effective because he's out there. Look, a lot of people who are wealthy or who are knowledgeable keep the wealth of information to themselves. Okay, I've worked for many people like this, CEOs and major sort of directors. They're not too interested in sharing this information with the world.
Right.
Gary Vee is different. He's there. What I liked about him when I met him the other day is that he's got a really busy schedule. But actually, what's interesting is he schedules a couple of hours or 30 minutes every day during his week to meet a random person.
Okay.
Like a kid, a teenager, a university student, just to have random walks with them and give that person some value.
That's nice. That's really nice.
I like that.
That's really cool.
I like that. And so when you do that consistently across time, you build brand equity, you build trust.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what he's done very well.
Absolutely. Yeah, amazing. Well, what an amazing experience that you had there. And I saw the pictures and I saw the community. You guys were at the Arts Club. It was
Yes.
very cool.
Yes,
cool.
yes.
So speaking of the Arts Club, you guys actually do, with your NFT community, you host a lot of events. You do, different meetups for people in the NFT space, and all of which is complimentary.
Yes.
I understand. So
Yes.
you guys are really about giving back, like teaching. And I think, what you give comes back 10 times.
100%. This
Absolutely.
is, I believe this big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
I do too.
So I'll tell you a little bit about how this all started. Maybe
Yes,
it's
please.
an interesting story from my perspective. So how did we start or build the arts DAO community, so to speak? About a year ago, I was a year ago I was. I had jumped into the NFT space, right? I was buying some NFTs. And I was on Foundation. Foundation is one of the platforms. We can talk about this a little bit afterwards, but
sure.
Foundation is one of those platforms where you can buy NFTs, okay? And there was a pretty cool art piece that was being sold by an artist I was following who sells sort of car-like NFTs, paintings. And I bid on it, okay, because you have auctions. So I bid for this project. This other guy comes in and bids on top of me. And I was like, wait a minute.
No.
I'm not going to let this fly. So I bid on top of him. And he bid on top of me.
Uh-huh.
It blew up on Twitter. People were
I
getting
love
the
it.
popcorn out. They're like, who's going to get this artwork? Eventually got to a price where I was like, look, I actually I don't think I could justify
Yeah.
it. So I let the guy win, and I looked this guy. Who is this guy? He's a Bored Ape, and I was like, it was a guy named Raheem. He now actually works with us at Arts DAO, but at the time I was like, who is this guy? So I messaged him like, you live in Dubai, don't you? Because I could see that on his Twitter. So I said, look, let's meet at the Mall of Emirates. I'd like to talk about, you're in the NFT space.
Yeah.
I'd never met anyone in the NFT space at that time just
Wow.
yet. So we met at the Mall of the Emirates, and what happened for me was it was an incredible experience to talk about the communities that we had joined in the NFT space, how it was incredible to talk about it in real life, beyond the avatar. So that was in effect the first meetup, me and Raheem.
Yeah.
There was actually another guy, a photographer, Angie, who was there as well. But what happened then was we all went away and we're like, can we find other people in the NFT space?
Yes.
And we came back with Christelle Bashara. So she was a friend of mine. We had a sort of podcast with her. And she decided to host a little NFT meetup at her studio. We got together there, and we were 13 people. So we're like, oh, wow, there are 13 people in NFTs in Dubai. This is pretty damn cool. But then we did it again, and the next time it was 30 people. Then it was 100 people. Then it was 200 people.
Yes.
It just kept going and going. And so what we realized was there was a very strong need in this community to meet other people in the real space. Because a lot of these people spend a lot of time just in front of the computer, on Twitter, on Discord. They're not really talking to other people. So when they actually meet other people in real life, it blows their mind.
Yeah.
So what we did with Arts DAO is we hosted these events to bring these people together. We had an event at the Arts Club. We also recently, I think you were there as well, we hosted a really cool yacht party.
Yes, I was there.
It was 100 of us, all into NFTs. It's crazy because we're all on Twitter with our different avatars, but you unmask
even my
the
Discord
avatar.
and my Twitter name are completely different,
you
so I don't share them often.
You unmask the avatar on the ship.
And my avatars are on as well.
So that's been a big part of how this community started. So I love it because it's organic.
Yeah.
Different members now of the community are setting up smaller events, but we continue to host bigger events. So in the future, we're likely going to be having an event in the desert coming up, which might be quite cool.
Very cool.
The second part of this now, so in a way what we've created is like a sort of private members club, like a little Soho house
I love it.
for
I
the
love
NFTs people in Dubai. But what we've decided to do now is we've also noticed that a lot of people are suffering from burnout. Projects being launched all the time. And you know this very well because you're in the space.
Yes.
And we want to help our members now kind of figure out where to go. And some people, they're new in the space. They just want a place that they can get the right access. So what Arts DAO is kind of become is called a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which in my view represents the future of how organizations are going to be created.
Absolutely.
They're built on the blockchain.
Yes.
But in a nutshell, it will become a fund managing an NFT portfolio that's balanced on behalf of the entire membership. So we are now a hedge fund and a Soho house combined. That's the kind of idea.
Yeah, I love it. No,
It's a lot of information in one go.
No, I love it. It's innovative. It's fresh. It's what needs. It is the new world. A lot of people don't get it. I have people that ask me, "What's all this NFT stuff about the apes and the bunnies?" And I'm like, it's so much more than that. That's just the hype. I mean, there's so much more than that. And I think we've done a really good job. Well, you've done a really good job of showing this to the audience today. So I think that's great. I think it's a lot of information. I would love to invite you back on the show again.
Oh,
because I
please.
think there's so much more information that we could give to everybody watching. Maybe we can do like a part 2.
100%.
Yeah.
We could talk for hours.
We could, but they'll get bored of us. I think it's time for a bit of fun. Is there anything that you want to let my audience know about NFTs, about the space, about you because I have a little fun section.
All right, cool.
And I need to get to that.
No problem. So if you're interested in learning more about NFTs, crypto, all that stuff, give us a follow on Instagram at @thecryptoshakes_podcast. You can learn all about that. You can also follow me at Ananas, Ananas, like pineapple, Ananas, BRB. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. What I post about is very much educational content, what I'm doing, what I'm seeing. And you can also follow us at the Arts DAO. We're doing an NFT drop for our fund.
Yes,
we're
I'm
creating.
whitelisted for that. I better be.
At
I
the
dropped
end
my
of March,
MetaMask.
we're doing a partnership with Christelle Bashara, who is one of the first NFT artists out here in the Middle East. So give us a follow, and if you're interested in joining this community, if you're out here in Dubai, say hi.
Excellent.
That's it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, let's get to some fun stuff. You guys ready for some fun? I need to have a little fun with my, my guests from time to time. A little trivia, a little fun, a little action on the show. You ready?
Hit me.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some questions. Some will be fast, some will be slow, but you'll hype up with my vibe and my energy.
Let's go.
Quirky, fun, silly stuff. You
Let's
ready?
go.
All right. All right. What's your favorite thing to order from room service?
Room service?
Yeah,
I'd probably go for tacos.
Tacos. Soft shell or hard shell?
Always soft.
What? Corn tortilla, flour tortilla?
I'd say flour.
Hey.
Come on, but
I'm from Belize.
the original taco is soft, not hard.
Yes, but corn tortilla.
Okay, maybe corn. I'm indifferent.
Do flour, do flour. I got you. All right, if you were going to be a drink, what drink would you be and why?
I probably would be an old-fashioned.
Woo, I love it. Why?
I think, so the old-fashioned is made of bitters, Angostura, whiskey, and a little bit of sweetness. So I think I'm quite old-fashioned in some respects when it comes to like the way I appreciate music, art, and things like that. But at the same time, so I feel like that's the kind of old sweetness to it. But I got a bit of, but at the same time, I have this bit of this dark, cold side to me. And I think this comes from, I used to play music. I still do. I play the guitar. And I used to be in a band when I was younger. And so, I don't know. I see myself as very much an old-fashioned. I drink that the most as well.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I didn't know that. Okay, what about ice cream? If you were ice cream, what flavor would you be and why?
Ice
Get to know an
cream.
ass.
Ice cream. I tend to, it's strange, but I kind of like, I think I'd be like a coconut.
Ooh.
A coconut or a pineapple.
Oh, I love it.
I mean, okay, and the
Or
reason.
you'd be like a combo of both.
Okay, yeah. So the reason why is probably because I'm from Mauritius. I feel like I got this tropical side to me, and so when you have that coconut or pineapple kind of ice cream, you're kind of feeling tropical.
Yeah, we're both island people.
Yeah. I was born on the water.
Yeah, same. Okay, female friends, you have a few of them?
I mean, I think we all do. Right?
Which of them is the prettiest?
Which of my female friends is the prettiest?
Yes, I'm putting him on the spot.
You are.
Oh, well,
Come on,
thank
you are.
Yeah, no, that's so diplomatic. I love it. Snaps for that. I'll take it. Okay. Okay, 3 of your best friends' names, guys or girls?
Without a doubt, Dan Osh Zahedi, co-founder with me of the Crypto Shakes podcast. I would say Raheem, who's also on the team with us. And I'd also like to say my friend, I'd also like to say, you know what? Christelle Bashara.
I love it.
Because we've really built a really big bond going forward this past year. So yeah, with Arts DAO, it's really a community of friends that are building this together.
I love it. All right, celebrity crush.
Celebrity crush.
Woo! Do you have one?
Oh yeah. But,
yeah.
but he's a bit old. Jimmy Page.
Okay.
He's the guitarist, the lead guitarist for Led Zeppelin.
Ah, nice. All right, Jimmy Page. All right, 4 of the most favorite objects in your house. Give me 4 objects in your house.
So this is easy. My guitar, number 1. I have 2. Actually, I have 3. So I'll just say all 3 are the first. I also have this painting. It's like a collage. It's massive, and it has all the gangsters from film that have sort of existed. So Pulp Fiction, The Godfather.
Oh, I love it.
You know, and it's just massive. It's huge.
So cool.
So I have that painting. That's one of my favorites because I'm a big film buff. I love like films generally. So that one I'd say number 2. Number 3, I have this. We're sticking to objects, right?
Yeah, things in house, anything.
Okay, I have this huge metal crab next to my like where I sleep, my bedside table. It's massive and it's silver.
Oh, cool.
I love that because it reminds me of Mauritius, but at the same time it's kind of metal.
Yeah.
So
got you.
I quite like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I quite like that. And number 4, I'd probably say is I have a bust of Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, Oh, nice.
the Stoic
Yes, of course.
emperor.
Yes, of
I'm a big
course.
fan of his philosophy, Stoic philosophy. It keeps me grounded. I'm a big fan of his meditations, his work, and I have him sort of displayed on my I have a bust of him on my cupboard, and so when I walk out, I always see him.
He ruined Carpe Diem for me because he took it to war. Oh no, that was Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm confusing them.
Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius was the one from the one with the movie.
Yeah, he was in The Gladiator, but
That's the one.
they didn't capture his history properly in that
it
film.
was-
But
I'm confusing the guys.
Yeah. So I got Marcus Aurelius's bust in my house.
Very nice. Where did you get it from?
I had it made in somewhere in Germany.
Very
and
cool.
sent over.
Okay, what's your wildest fantasy?
Okay. Maybe some of this can't be disclosed here.
Okay, next question. A rumor about you that someone would start.
A rumor about me that someone would start.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know the answer to this question. I'm sorry.
All right, better rapper, Nas or Kendrick Lamar?
Nas.
Hey.
Come on, that's easy.
Best rapper of all time?
Let's give it to Biggie Smalls.
Biggie. I love it. All right, now these need to be fast. We answer no thought.
Oh, shit.
Fast. Okay.
Okay.
Ready? Favorite color?
Green.
Favorite car?
Jeep.
Favorite food?
Tacos.
Yes. Favorite restaurant? Next. Ketchup or
don't
mayo?
know. Huh?
Ketchup or mayo?
Ketchup.
Favorite movie?
Pulp Fiction.
Woohoo! Hot sauce, yes or no?
Always.
Oh, oysters or escargot?
Oysters.
Favorite animal?
Bulls.
Bulls.
We're always bullish.
True that, true that. Favorite holiday destination?
Obviously Mauritius.
Mauritius, yeah, of course.
Hometown.
Favorite song?
That's a hard one.
Next. Apples or pears?
Pears.
Wine or whiskey?
Whiskey.
Pickles or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for playing along.
Wow.
That was fun.
That was tough. That was really tough.
I like to have a little fun with my guests.
That was really tough.
Anas, thanks so much for joining me. This was fun. I am definitely going to invite you back. I think we can continue the convo another time. It was great. It was fun. It went by really fast. Loved it.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that is all the time that I have for today. I am Angela Gegg. A big thank you to Anas for joining me in the studios today. And, of course, to my friends in San Juan that are locked in. We've got New York, Los Angeles, Denver, Russia, the Ukraine, France, London, the entire Central South America, and the Caribbean, and to every single person that's tuned in worldwide. You guys rock, and especially those of you right here in the United Arab Emirates. We love you, Dubai. Send your shout-outs over to me at agag@fusellive.com. Broadcasting for Fusel TV, I am Angela Gegg. See you next time, same place.